Okay, guys, so what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be going through all of the books that have kind of like impacted me on like a deeper level. Do you know what I mean? Like that sounded really silly when I said it, but I mean like I read them and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is like life altering." Do you know what I mean? So we're going to be going through that today. Um Side note, okay, first and foremost, that is my bookshelf in the back. That's not all of the books, and some of them I'm still like currently reading. I feel like half of this video is going to be the books that have impacted me the most, and half of them are going to be the books that I know will impact me the most. So I haven't read them yet. And yeah, so welcome to my channel, you guys. I'm kind of theorizing whether or not I should change the name of my channel, but we're just gonna go for it. Prior to this, I've been doing a lot of like gameplay videos of The Sims because I either read or I play Sims. So today we're just gonna hop into the reading portion. So first and foremost, probably one of the first books I ever read that was kind of fantasy and fiction, and also it had the enemies to lovers trope, which I am a sucker for. It's Under Different Stars by Amy A. Bartol. I don't know if you can see that correctly. I hope you can. Um, I really liked it. It's not for everybody. I read it when I was like 13. So I feel like it's definitely kind of a hit or miss. Um Yeah, I will say that the reason I liked it so much is because the main character's name is Cricket, and I feel like that's really cute, and you don't find that anywhere. It's basically about um it's basically about Cricket and how she like bounces from foster system to foster system, and when she turns 18, she like tries to get out of it, and she has this like special ability, if I remember correctly. I could not. And when she turns 18, she's hoping that she'll be able to find her place and that she won't have to keep running anymore, which is, very sweet. On her 18th birthday, this like soldier guy comes in, and his name is Trey, and he's supposed to like take Cricket back to her like true home, I guess, which is where she was actually born. I know. Plot twist, guys, plot twist. Um, and yeah, and it's basically about like their journey together. This is a trilogy, if I remember correctly. I first read this on my Kindle when I was 13, the Kindle that I don't have anymore. I would like die to go back and see what I was actually reading. Um, Now that I think about it, there's another book, but I'll add that in later, like towards the end, because that one definitely changed me a lot. So yeah, Under Different Stars, like that one was crazy. I really liked that one a lot. And yeah. Yeah, okay. These are not in any particular order. I didn't like read these in that order. Um Next is Normal People by Sally Rooney. I hate that there's a first of all, I hate that there's a sticker on it for Hulu that you can't get rid of. I hate that. I'm not into that. I think it's disgusting. These fake stickers, I don't like it. Um just kind of a 1 minute book review. This is one of my all-time favorite books I think I've ever read. It goes over so many like serious topics. It goes over the like right person, wrong time, but they never get the right time, guys. Like there's never a right time for these people. It's always something. You know what I mean? Um and the main characters are Connell and Marianne. They grow up in the same town. They meet in high school, I believe. And Marianne is kind of like the weird, she's very like isolated, but not because she is like weird, just because in my interpretation of the book, she was just always alone because she never found her group of people that a lot of people like in movies they find in high school, but a lot of people don't find their people. And like that set group of friends in high school, some people just don't ever find that. And it kind of shows how she has a hard time fitting in, but she doesn't mind. Like it doesn't take a drastic toll on who she is. Um, she's a very nice and sweet girl. And then she meets Connell because Connell's mom is like cleaning Marianne's house. And so he goes over there sometimes and then they meet like this conversation and they end up like their lives are just permanently intertwined. And yeah, a lot of people end up not liking this book because it doesn't have the quotation marks every time there's like a section of dialogue, which I was able to get over. It didn't like stop me or anything because I had been told like constantly how good the book was, so I don't even, I don't really mind. So I Yeah, I don't know. I just really like this book. It's not like a friends to lovers or even it's definitely not an enemies to lovers because they never hate each other. It is kind of like a very beautiful story that kind of depicts what love is and how they view it and also like friendship and how their relationship continues to grow outside of the bounds of like a normal love standard relationship. Um and yeah, that's Normal People by Sally Rooney. It's a gorgeous book. Very, very beautiful. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, let's see. Next, if anyone in the audience is part of the LGBTQ slash like queer community, I hope you have read this. It's The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I don't really feel like I need to explain this if you are part of the queer community and you have read it, but I'm going to anyway because this is a book review. Okay. The Song of Achilles, like, took me out, physically made me sick and ill for like 8 months after I read it. It is like a historical depiction of the like love story that a lot of people don't see. It doesn't get a lot of representation. It does now, but it didn't until this book. It is between Achilles and Patroclus, and this is kind of like a historical retelling, basically. It's definitely not an enemies to lovers, but it is like a beautiful, the best friends to lovers depiction I think I've ever seen in the literary world. So it's just beautiful. It's a fantastic like piece of literature. I can't really tell you guys if I'm just saying that because it made me cry every single chapter or what, but it is really a good book and I hope if you guys take away anything, it's to read more books by Madeline Miller. Again, with the fake sticker. I just can't stand it. They do have another cover of this that I really want. I have the like original. I think this is the original cover. I don't know. I had two copies of this book. I annotated the first one I had, gave it to someone that didn't deserve it. If I could go back and take anything, I would take that book back because that was my book. I want it back. And then I got a second copy because I loved the book so much I had to read it twice and put myself through another journey of trauma. Yeah, so that was The Song of Achilles. Next, also by Madeline Miller, we have Circe. This book, for me personally, I feel like impacted me more because, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, guys. I forgot to say that this is like a gay. Is that the correct term? This is like the. I don't know. It's just a book for the homos, okay? If anyone tries to cancel me, I'm pansexual, okay? I promise. I'm not saying any of this is an insult. I genuinely can't think of like a better word. It's a love story between men. That's, or like boys, I guess you could say. Boys from the beginning to men, whatever. I feel like Cersei really impacted me a little bit more, like to my core. Okay, the Song of Achilles was like an emotional level, and that was like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna cry for weeks after I read this book, and I did. Um, and it kind of changed how I view love. But Cersei, bitch, nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. If you are not emotionally prepared for Song of Achilles, do not read this book. Do not read this book because it is like 10 times worse. There's nothing like particularly on the same level of sadness as there is in Song of Achilles. There is so much emotional maturity in this book, and kind of like not only emotional growth, but like literal and physical growth that it takes to be able to get through this book and like appreciate it for what it is rather than like going back and shaming it for what it could have been, maybe what it should have been. Um, yeah, I personally, oh my goodness, I love this book so much. It took me maybe a week and a half to get through, not because it's so long, because it's really not. I think it's maybe like 300 pages. Okay, closer to 400. Irrelevant. Um, it just, I feel like it really shows the growth that women have to go through in order to be taken seriously and in order to feel like they are, like to feel like they matter. And I'm so grateful that I got the opportunity to read this book, because really, like, I don't know who I would be if I, like, today if I hadn't read this book. I know that that might be a little bit dramatic. This one is also like a historical retelling. They're both fiction, because obviously Madeline Miller was not alive when these Greek gods and goddesses were said to have been alive, so that's why it's all fiction. I just, I think that it was beautiful. I think that it was perfect. I think as a woman, if you're in the audience, if you're watching this video, I think this is a book that you definitely have to read. It's not like a motivational, like self-help book or anything. It's not gonna get you through like hard times or anything, but it will. It will make you question your entire life, as it did for me. So, so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that book review. This, this, if I could go back and reread any book for the first time, this would be one of them, because I cried so much during this book. Like, not even because, like I said, not even because it's like particularly sad, just because a lot of these things that Cersei went through, she should not have had to go through. And I hate that. And as someone who has also gone through things that I should not have gone through, I relate to my fellow queen, my fellow goddess, Cersei. So yeah, this is Cersei by Madeline Miller. Perfect. Does not have the sticker, and I love this cover. I think it's beautiful. Um, those are not part of series. Okay, next is part of a series. This is not the first book. This is part of the Acatar series by Sarah J. Maas. This is part of the Maas universe, whatever it's called. Okay, I can't remember what it's called, but there's like a cinematic universe, like the Marvel universe and stuff like that for movies. Well, there's the Sarah J. Maas universe, because she has so many series that have been produced. This one is still ongoing. I have the series uh back there on my, yeah, whatever. I have it back there on my bookshelf. I read all the books that have been released currently. So it's part of the Acatar series, which is A Court of Thorn and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, of course. This is the second book. This is A Court of Mist and Fury. If you haven't read the series, this is the spoiler disclaimer, okay? I'm gonna be spoiling at least the first book and this book, because the other ones, it's not part of a series, so I'm not gonna spoil it. But this one I'm gonna spoil. I think you should read it because it has the world's not best, definitely not most developed, like enemies to lovers, but it does have, oh, this one is also very like, it has some graphic depictions, so just be careful, okay? I think it has a lot of personal growth in the main character, Feyre. That's how I'm saying her name. If I'm saying it wrong, don't tell me, because that would be embarrassing. Okay, it has a lot of personal growth, especially in this book. In the first book, she's a little bit like delusional, and I stand by women's rights and wrongs, but not really like hers. I think she is. Wow, my hair is like going crazy. Sorry, guys. Um, she has a lot of personal growth in this book specifically, because she has to come to terms with a lot of the choices that she didn't want to have to go through. There's like a literal war that she's trying to get herself out of, and then she like ends up getting stuck with like Rysand, which is the High Lord of the Night Court, I think, something like that. I read this series a while ago. This series is the series that got me out of my reading slump, like probably like this time last year, and I have a lot of books over there. So all of those books I've bought since not all of them, but like a lot of them I've bought since last October. Okay, so the first book was so easy for me to get through. It's definitely like a simplified version of The Throne of Glass, which is going to be the next book that I'm going over. It's definitely a simplified version, kind of dumbed down. The plot twists go crazy. The plot twists are like they're a little sassy. I have a lot of critiques on this series, but I think if you're just looking for a very simple, like easy, quick paced series to get through, Acatar is definitely very, very high up there on my list of recommendations. I know it's not for everybody. It was for me. It was for me. I was in a reading slump. I was looking for something good. This was like probably before Acatar had started getting big on book talk, so I think I can successfully say that I read it before then. Not that it really matters, just that I stayed clear of a lot of spoilers. So, and that's saying a lot because the book series has been out for like a hot minute. The most recent book that's come out is the A Court of Silver Flames, which is like moving on to Nesta and Cassian, which is Feyre's sister, and then Rysand's like second in command, third in command, whatever. And yeah, I really like that book a lot, but this one is the one that just kind of moved me the most. It's also conveniently the one with like the most smut, other than the Silver Flames. But I really like the Feyre and Rysand kind of love story. Spoiler, love story. Sorry guys. I didn't really know how to do a general synopsis of this, literally the second book in the series, without somehow spoiling it because it is the second book in the series. So yeah, that's kind of my review. At the end of this, I'm gonna do like a rating on 5 stars. So stay tuned. Also my camera's in the middle, but I keep like looking on the side, so I shouldn't be looking. Okay, next. As you can see, I'm in the middle of this one. I can't bring myself to get through it. Not because it's bad, it's not. This one, literally, I'm in the first book, I know. Life changing in the way that I didn't know. Reading the series could be so fucking confusing. Okay, why did I know that? I don't know, guys. There are specific ways to read the series. In a specific order. Sometimes it's suggested by fellow people who have also read the series. Sometimes it's suggested by the author. I will tell you what way you're not supposed to read the series, and that's the way that it, like in chronological order that it was released, because apparently that's all wrong. So, the current problem I'm having with this right now is that this is for sure the first book that you're supposed to read. I think. I don't know, guys. I don't know, guys. Life changing in the way that I know this series is supposed to be so good, but I cannot bring myself to find the correct order because what the fuck? Someone tell me what the correct order is because I am hella confused. Like, I don't know. I don't really know. I've tried before. I have this book and I have Assassin's Blade, and I started this one because everyone on TikTok told me to read this one first. And what really pisses me off is that I bought this one and then I bought the Assassin's Blade, and they have different covers. But when I bought them, like I pre-ordered the other one because I had to buy it from another store, it had to get shipped here, because we don't buy from Amazon because that's bad. We don't, whatever. Personal preference. I don't really care. I'm not gonna like shame you or anything if you buy books from Amazon. Out of my control. I don't really care. Um, and yeah, and I bought that one and that one, whatever. And it had a different cover. And I was like, I don't particularly like this cover. I like the other one where it has the characters on it. And this one is just not doing it. I think it looks like another book that I've read that I can't remember the name of right now, but it looks like that cover as well. Here's where I put you guys on the little plant leaf bookmarks. But I know that the series is going to be so good, and I know that I'm going to love it. The Throne of Glass series is supposed to be more like complicated, not complicated, more like in depth for the plot. Like the Acatar series was very surface level plot, kind of basic. If you're looking for like elementally working your way up through the plot levels, Acatar was very simple, very straightforward. You could definitely read it very quickly. This one, thumbnail time. This one is not, from what I've heard. It's very much like confusing, very much in depth, very much the characters have a lot of developmentally like growing to do. And they do during the series. Like you get attached to people, they die. So don't get attached to anyone is my suggestion. I only know these things because a couple of things have been spoiled for me, but I'm still gonna read it because I don't care. Like I feel the need to prove it to myself that I can get through a series that is harder than Akatar. And yeah, okay. Let me go get the book that I was talking about earlier. This is the book that I was talking about. This is called 13 Treasures. It's by Michelle Harrison. This I probably read when I was like 12. Okay, so we're going like throwback. Really, like a real throwback for real. So this one and Under Different Stars I read around the same time. This one I believe is a trilogy as well. I don't think it has four books. I do have the second one, but I never got the third one. This one, holy knocked my brain around. This is what really got me into like fairy fiction, fairy like fantasy, that kind of thing, which isn't exactly in Acatar, like that series. It's like high fae and stuff like that, but it did kind of introduce me to the land of fiction. This one did. This is what the cover looks like. Basically, it's like this young girl who moves to some house, not with her parents. I don't think. I think it's with her grandma or something. Um, yeah, yeah. She goes to move in with her grandma because her mom sends her to like this really secluded manor where her grandma lives, and her grandma's house is right by a forest where like a young girl disappeared like 50 years ago. Okay, and they never found her, and nobody ever goes into the forest anymore. And it kind of delves into that. It goes over like why the girl went missing. Tanya goes missing, which is the main character of the book. She's like she's young. I think she's like 12 maybe. She's young. She's not like the typical teenage heroine like female lead, not like the drug. Um not like the white powdery stuff. So yeah, this was probably one of my favorite like young adult teen, some could even say, books that I read when I was younger. I loved it. I ate that up. And yeah, if you're trying to get into fiction that has to do with fairies, I suggest starting with this one, 13 Treasures by Michelle Harrison. I couldn't remember if this one was first or if 13 Wishes was first. I'm not really sure. I don't remember. I think it is this one, but don't fact check me. Oh, the last one is 13 Secrets. Okay, irrelevant. And yeah, if you're like a younger reader looking into fantasy and you can't find any books that are like particularly interesting, I don't suggest starting with a Sarah J. Maas book. I don't. A lot of the time they have more in-depth character development, which is like great. Sometimes for like older readers, I know that I myself am 19, so that was very easy and quick for me to get through. But if you're younger, I don't suggest starting with that because while it was easy for me, it might not be easy for some people to get through. But I do recommend this one. It's not very long. It's okay, it borders on like 400 pages, but it's very quick. The writing is not difficult to read at all. So I think that's where I'm gonna leave this video. So if you guys enjoyed watching me, make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment if you have any suggestions on what you think I should do next. I'm not really sure if I want to keep this as just like a general channel where I kind of like do everything, or if I want to like do strictly gameplay or strictly like book reviews. I don't really know. So we'll just kind of see where it takes us. And yeah, so you guys have a good day. Make sure to stay tuned for my next video. And thank you.